All right, welcome to our first annual media day. Today we have our girls softball program. We've been very successful and fortunate these past decade. Coach Novak has been the head coach since the inception of our school. I do love the orange ladies, I'm not gonna lie. That looks really sharp. Loving it. Awesome. Coach Novak, will you just take us through just a brief history of the program, where you were and where you're at now? And
Yeah, we're really proud of our Warrior softball program. The program we've built over the past 17 years, if you include that first year when we started at Lincoln Way Central, but where we started and where we are now, and that's a tribute to all of our former players, coaches who have just really embraced being a Warrior and being a part of Warrior softball and where we are now. And we have some siblings of some sisters who have played. We have 5 former student athletes from Lincoln Way West who are now on our coaching staff. I'm just really proud of what we've been able to do over all these years, and even looking at our facilities and how they've grown, just everything that we do here and everything that we take pride in, so our student athletes can have a positive experience.
Awesome. All right, so to the right of you and to the left, why don't you just kind of quickly go through each person that's up here and the position that they play and where they're at.
Okay. We're still early in the season, so we're still kind of moving people around, figuring out what's best for the team, but we've got Aaron Quigley, who's a senior outfielder. We have Allie Kurzak, who is a senior infielder outfielder. We have Coach May, who I believe is in his 7th year here at Lincoln Way West. He's also a graduate of Lincoln Way West. He was in the baseball program. We were excited when he made the decision to join us in the softball program. Extremely helpful and such an asset to our program. Junior Reese Rourke, shortstop pitcher. We've got junior Molly Finn, quarter infielder, third base, and then we have senior Matthew Lukasic, senior catcher infield. So we've got a great group.
Awesome. This year, would you say we're senior dominated? Where are we at?
We return a wealth of experience this season. We are really looking forward to the season ahead. We have multiple athletes who have had multiple years of varsity experience. We're adding in some additional athletes this season to really help round out the team, and we're looking forward to the season ahead.
Awesome.
Perfect. And then, Coach, so my question for you is how over the time, like for the many years you've been involved in the sport, how has the game changed, and how does it affect your coaching style?
Yeah, the game has definitely continued to evolve. The athletes continue to get better. They continue to get stronger in our area, our conference. Our conference is the best conference in the state, and just the competition that we play and the level at which these girls are training and playing, it just continues to get better. Obviously, as coaches, we're constantly reflecting of how we can improve. We're also, we've got to evaluate the team and the strengths and weaknesses of each team that we have season to season, and how can we minimize those weaknesses, but how can we get the most out of our strengths. And it's also, year to year, having to make decisions with positions and moving people around, so we can ultimately figure out our best lineup to put us in a chance to be successful. Also, just in general, how much the game of softball has grown over the years, how much softball is on TV now, watching those athletes at the next level, and that our athletes have been able to see that over the years and look up to that. When I was playing, there wasn't a ton of softball on TV. There wasn't a ton of, older players that were visible that you could regularly see. This summer, Athletes Unlimited is starting a pro league. It's definitely more visible. The game keeps growing, and it's an exciting time for these athletes to be involved with softball.
Awesome, perfect. And then I'll go through a list, all three of you. I'll start with you, Maddie. So if you could say, what's the most valuable lesson you've learned from playing softball?
I would say it would be to just
do you have like something that you go by? Like, is there a motto, maybe something motivational that makes you want to play softball? Is there
Yeah.
something you're playing for?
Play with all your heart.
Okay.
Every game, every practice.
Awesome. And then Molly, what would you say is something valuable that you've taken away from softball?
I would say don't let the mistakes like get to you. Like always like keep going. If you make a mistake, like the mistakes don't define you.
And then Reese, what about you?
Probably trust your teammates, which we always hear all the time. Like it's not a certain play that doesn't just fall on you. One game doesn't fall on one player. Just remember that to keep your confidence.
And then Allie, what would you say?
I'd say kind of like what Molly said, just being mentally tough and being positive throughout everything.
And then Aaron, what would you say is a valuable lesson to take away?
I would also kind of say the same thing that like you don't want to focus on your mistakes, but also communication is a big like deal. You want to be able to communicate and like talk to your teammates and learn.
Cool. And then Manny, I'll come back to you. Do you have any anything you like to do during the season or before the season to like prepare yourself like mentally or physically for the season?
Definitely working out consistently, making sure that my body's ready to be practicing 6 days a week, getting ready for games. So I would say working out and just practicing mental toughness and staying positive and confident in my head.
Cool. And then Molly, what about you?
I would agree with Maddie. I like consistently work out and like start eating better, so like you're better in shape for the season and drinking a lot of water.
And then Reese, what about you?
I think definitely coming to practice with the mindset that you have a goal in mind, you want to get something done, and you want to get better.
Allie, what about yourself? What do you like to do?
I think in winter we all push ourselves as hard as we can so that when we come here we're at our peak and we're ready to win.
And then Aaron, what about yourself?
I would say put in like a lot of practice work and get ready for the season, but also like go to bed on time, drink enough water, eat food. Like just make sure your body's prepped.
Cool. And then Coach, I have one more question for you I wanted to ask you. What are some of the ways you like to help your athletes grow off and on the field?
I was going to say, as you could hear from their answers, just how important it is that as coaches that we're helping our athletes grow, not only on the softball field, but off the softball field too. And they're all going to lead Lincoln Way West, and we want to see them be successful in whatever area of life they go into. So just to hear them share how important all the different pieces, it's not just about the reps with the hitting and the fielding, but mentally being prepared, the preparation. Obviously, we do a great deal of preparation, attention to detail, but we just hope we have some students that, you know, once they're done playing softball here, their softball careers have come to an end. We have some athletes that continue to play at the next level, but regardless, we hope all of our students are prepared to be able to go in the world and be good citizens, make good choices, and just hopefully they've enjoyed their experience here. They've been able to take some of those lessons out of their experience, and really it's the relationships. It's the relationships with their teammates. It's the relationships you make here that I've found has been like the most beneficial, the most rewarding, is seeing the growth of our students, and then when they come back and to see them successful in their careers and to see them start their families, and it's been really rewarding being able to form those relationships.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Those are all my questions, guys. So thank you. Oh, perfect.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, we got some more. We gotta have some fun.
I'm gonna ask you if you're an artist.
No? Oh, you're probably waiting for that one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, actually, in all honesty, I know Coach Novak did a few really cool moments in the sense of women's sports and what's happening, and seeing the growth of just being on TV and having that. I'm going to hit a question for you, Reese. Is there any in particular, you know, like you've seen the Caitlin Clark of the basketball, is there the Caitlin Clark of the softball that you look up to or look at and say, wow, you know, as a player?
I think it was super cool seeing Najee Kennedy get her like $1.2 million contract. That's so unheard of for softball. And then I also went to this like empowering girl speech with Reese, Molly, and Haley. Like we got to hear her speak, and along with a couple other athletes, and like hearing their mindset is super cool. And it's like focusing on confidence, and you realize like how much alike these two people are, and like it's cool to look up to them.
That is awesome. It's good to see. With that said too is, I know you guys do so much in the summer with the little kids camps to promote that. What's one good memory that you had, Aaron Quigley, whether working those or just, as a kid going through the program?
It's nice to like be able to talk with the little kids and like show them how to do certain things and like make them like softball, or like show them that softball is fun and that they should do it when they're older because they might enjoy it. Like just give them something that they can enjoy.
And I will say we had about 100 little ones here last week, and just watching our athletes interact with the little ones. We went a little younger with the ages, so there were some pretty young ones here, and just seeing them interact, and our whole goal with that, I mean, I don't know how much softball skills they were going to get out of it, but being able to look up to these student athletes, also the reminder of our student athletes of this journey they've been on with softball in the game, and a reminder of, when you've started, how far you've come, and hopefully that joy, that love for the game that we're fostering.
We're very fortunate to be in the community that we are, and you all are playing a very good role model as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about leadership. I'm going to pick on you, Molly, because I've had you for the last 3 years in the leadership group. What's one thing that you can take away and that you want to bring to your team this year in the leadership role?
I want to like make sure everyone's always like thinking positive about themselves and always being confident and like never getting down and upset. Like if I see someone down, I'll definitely like be like, hey, it's okay, you got the next one, and always like picking them up.
Reese, what major leadership role do you think you have in this year's group?
I hope to like work on being more vocal on the field, which is something I think I've struggled with before, and I think this year, now being an upperclassman, I could totally take a better role on it, always like bringing up your teammates after a bat, and just continue being vocal.
All right, so Coach May, you're not going to get off the hook easy here, all right? So you're up here. I'm going to ask Allie, do you have a certain Coach Mayism that you can think of, or he says frequently, or does something?
I think it's more what he doesn't say. I love when Coach Novak is like, do you have anything to add? And he's just, no.
No? Man with few words, is that what you'd say?
She takes all the words.
I think with the staff, we all have our different personalities, and we balance each other out.
Okay, all right, I can see that. Molly, you've been waiting for this question, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you go ahead and give the answer to what you were waiting for?
Wait,
Music.
for mine?
Yes.
My Drager one?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you have to ask Coach Novak though too. Because
Well-
remember you asked Coach White about Mariah Carey.
Oh, song from Coach White? Yeah. Well, that's because we grew up together and he likes Mariah Carey a lot.
They used to call SZA scissors.
Oh, gosh. So
what's your drink song?
Okay, that was like freshman year. I don't Nokia now. Nokia's my new favorite song.
okay, so
Well,
we're
that's
going
it.
for the photo shoot, you're going to have to listen to Nokia then,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, old school program.
I'm looking at some of these versions of
Yes. But, anyways, we are looking forward to a great season. I know that the future's bright. Obviously, nothing is given, everything's earned, and I see all these wonderful ladies out here and up here and ready to go. It's going to be fun. Remember, you only live through high school once, hopefully, should. But awesome job, and congratulations and good luck.